Welcome to the Good, the Bad, and the Sequel Q&A. My name's Doug. So the next sequel that we're going to be covering is Scream 7. Stars everybody's 90s crush, Neve Campbell. And this week's guest was a stunt double for Mason Gooding, which I feel like a moron that I never knew that the correlation with Gooding, that's Cuba Gooding's son. I was just reading a lot of press when 72 Hours on Netflix came out. And I'm like, oh my God, I can't believe it didn't put two and two together. But we talked to Brian Neal, stuntman, stunt double, does stunt coordinating, also a lot of writing and acting, and doing some independent films that he did, some short films, pretty cool stories and premises that we discussed later in the interview. But we talked about his journey. He was at Northern Illinois, didn't know what he wanted to do, good at math and science, then starts working at a distillery. He's a gymnast. He was a cheerleader. So he has the nimbleness you need to be in the stunt field. So then he starts doing some modeling. Then somebody says, hey, why don't you try this stunt work? He's doing a little background at the time. Divergent was filming in Chicago, where he grew up and where he lives. So then that opens up the doors for him working on Captive State, Lovecraft Country, and pretty early on, he's doubling for Jonathan Majors. Tells an amazing story about working with him on Creed and how Jonathan Majors shows up on set. And it's not even a day that he's shooting, just wanted, hey, what's going on, Brian? Which is pretty cool to hear that actors are doing that for their stunt doubles because they make them look as good as people go, oh my gosh, that was a stuntman? I thought that was really him. He tells a really cool story about doing stunt double work on The Chai. And when he joined the fan group and was like, oh, that was me that got shot at the end. They're like, oh my God, I can't believe there was a stunt double. So like he says, my job was done. But it was really cool just to hear about how he was involved with Scream 7 before he even had a job. They set up a scene from the movie so the writers and the director would see how it would actually play out. And that's how it made it into the movies. I'll let him go into more detail about the whole previs process. Also, his work helping out student films, what goes into being a stunt double. He's double for Mason Gooding, Coleman Domingo, and many more. But yeah, he was a cool guy. Loves film, big Scream aficionado. So I asked him about his favorite movie in the franchise. And then next week, we're going to be covering Scream 7, which is pretty neat. So before I start the interview, please like, rate, share, subscribe. Follow us on social media at Sequels Only. We have a great website. Great. Who says great about their own thing? But yeah, great website. Where you can see all the interviews, reviews. They have the posters and the headshots of the actor, the person behind the scenes that we chatted with. And it's pretty cool because it makes it really easy to pick out people. I know who they are, but this is episode 426. You have a lot to catch up on those summer vacation drives. Go for it. On a plane, pop it in. Really cool stuff talking about sequels and then some of the people that worked on them. That's the funnest part about this gig. And without further ado, hearing the behind the scenes stories of how he got started in the stunt work. Stuntman, sometimes actor, sometimes writer, always an awesome guy, Brian Neal. All right, cool, Brian. So what I like to do with these, I love to be able to find out folks' journey because obviously a job in Hollywood is not a normal job that, you could do it so many different places throughout the country. It's really like now there's more expansion with the way things are being filmed, but typically it's major cities. Like, you're not living in Mississippi, like looking for a big film industry, but like you're born, raised in Chicago. Is that right?
Yeah. So born and raised in Chicago. And then I ventured out and down to Atlanta, and I'm in Atlanta.
Good spot to go.
Quite a bit.
Oh, okay.
Mostly in Atlanta.
In your childhood, did you go to high school in Chicago or Atlanta?
So I went to high school in a suburb of Chicago. It's called Thornwood, in a little small suburb right outside of Chicago.
Cool. So at what point did the whole journey into, like, how did this even come about? Was it acting first? Was it stunts? Or how'd that transition work into pursuing Hollywood?
So basically, I was working for a distillery at a distillery plant, and I had always been like told, like, you should get into modeling. So I did, and I started modeling, and it wasn't necessarily for me. I had some good times, some fun times, but it was not something that I wanted to keep pursuing. So, right after modeling, like, what do you do next? And a lot of models actually shift over to like acting and the acting portion.
Yep.
So I was just like, all right, that's the next step. So I need to do that too. Let me see, how can I switch over and see if I could get into acting. And then I started doing like background work, which is how I started. I started with background work. I was on, I want to say probably season 2 of Chicago Fire as like a background person. And then it was a TV series called Betrayal that was shooting. And I did background on that a lot. And I was just like, okay, let me see what are the next steps. Like, how do I work my like way up? Like, what is this hierarchy, if you will, within
Yeah.
this? So I was just doing background work, and then I kind of, I guess, upgraded, and then I started doing stand-in work. So I was doing stand-ins for like the actors, and then we had this really big movie coming to Chicago that was really, really big, and I never heard about it. I know nothing about it. I didn't care about it, and I was on set for Betrayal, and that's what everybody talking about. Nobody talking about nothing else but this movie and how they got like 5 days, 6 days. So now it piqued my interest, what is this movie? It turns out it was Divergent, and Divergent
Oh.
was filming in Chicago, and I was like, "Well, I gotta get a part of that. Let me see what I can do to get on that." Luckily for me, they had like a last minute call where they were needing like 200 extras, and they had a post that just said, "Hey, do you think you look smart or do you think you look tough?" And I was like, I don't know. I wear glasses. Maybe I'm smart. So I'm gonna go to the smart side. So I chose that. I submitted. I booked the job. When I went in for my fitting, I couldn't fit any clothes. So here's the model coming back. The designer was there the day I was there. So he comes in, asks for all my sizes. I give them to him. And of course they're accurate because I know because I model. And he made my whole outfit, the outfit that I had on, nobody else had it on. He made my whole outfit. I looked different than everybody. Everybody. So on the day that I was filming, Neil Berger was directing it. And with extras, they just like pick like you go over here, you go over here, you go over there, and all of that to set up the scene for the actors. Neil came over and was just like, "Yeah, look me up and down. Like, mind you, I don't look like nobody else in the room." And he was just like, "Yeah, you go over there." And I'm just like, "Dang, I'm about to get sent home. Like, I didn't do something right." Next thing I know, Shailene Woodley, who was the lead of the movie, is behind me, and she's like, "Hey, I heard we're about to
Yep.
do a scene together." And I'm like, "What?" And she was just like, "Yeah, I'll talk to you in a little bit." And I'm like, "What?" And then the director comes back over and he's just like, "Yeah, I like your whole outfit. This is the scene." And I was just like, I'm literally about to do this right now. This is cool, cool. So I got upgraded. Um, and that was a very, very great day for me. It was a great, great day.
Yeah.
But then I was hooked. I was like, how do I get to do this all the time now? I want to do this all the time. So I just started
That's amazing. Like,
searching
she walks
and
up to you thinking like, "Hey, we're gonna do a scene together." And you're like, "Are we? We
right,
are?"
right.
Like,
I'm like, what? Are you serious right now? Cause okay. I'm here for it. Let's go. So like we shot the whole day. The only thing that made the cut though, which you can see it in the movie, is I'm walking towards her and then it does like this weird cut, and then all of a sudden I disappeared. So I was just like, oh, I know magic too. So I can vanish. That's cool. But you know what? That's all right. It gave me the bug and I was hooked. I got an agent right after that. I started booking commercials after that. And then I was just like, all right, this is the right path. And then I was on set and I did a lot of sports. I did gymnastics, cheerleading, football, basketball, diving. Like I've done a ton of sports, and I was still coaching at the time, tumbling. And
Oh,
I was
okay.
showing a video while I was on a set, and one of the PAs saw it and was just like, "Why aren't you in stunts?" And I'm like, "I don't know. Like, why am I not in stunts? Like, how do I get into stunts?" And she was just like, "Hey, I'll let you know." And then she vanished. Didn't see her again. And I was just like, well, how do I get into stunts? You know what? My good friend Google is gonna help me out. So I went on Google and started like Googling things, and I found Midwest Stunts, which is a Chicago organization that they have full of stunt performers, stunt coordinators, and they had an email. So I put a little reel together of just me tumbling and the resume that I had from like the commercials and stuff that I've been on set with, and I sent that in and didn't hear anything. So I was like, well, maybe I guess stunts is not a thing. So I was down in Atlanta, and I was what was I working on? I was working on Pitch Perfect 3. Pitch Perfect 3.
Okay.
And I got an email, and coordinator, introduced himself. Hey, I'm coordinator in Chicago, and I have this movie, and I think you look like this guy. I want to, bring you in for this. And I'm like, okay, but I'm like down in Atlanta, like shooting this other movie right now. Like, what do I do? So I called my wife, and I'm like, hey, I just got a offer for this job for like stunts and stuff. Like, what do I do? And she goes, you take it. What do you mean? What do you do? You say yes. You say yes. You come back up to Chicago and you take the job. So I was just like, yeah, you're right. Okay. So I said yes. I flew back up to Chicago, and I worked on a movie called Captive State with John Goodman. Vera Farmiga was in there. And I
Oh,
was
yeah.
doubling for the now Jonathan Majors. So I got to work on that
Wow.
for about a month. I think I had a month on that. And I was just like, I really like stunts. I like stunts. Like, I don't care if it's behind the scenes and you can't that I really like that. And I have not looked back since. Ever since that, I was hooked, been hooked. It'll be 10 years in March. Next March, 2027 would be 10 years. So,
Ah, that's
March of
sick. So for
2017. Yeah.
that's cool. So for Captive State, like when you're a stunt double versus just doing stunts, are you doing like the stunts for Jonathan, like the full stunts? Or are
Yeah,
you just there for the
so,
scene? Oh, okay.
and so in that movie, um I mean, Max, so we've seen Jonathan. We know Jonathan now. Like, Jonathan's very athletic, and he's always been.
Oh, yeah.
And I had to do a dead man, which is just a straight fall backwards to my back, because it's a scene where he's running, and one of the aliens is like invisible, and he runs into it and like gets like kind of like thrown back because they're so like strong and powerful. So I had to do that. It's another scene where he gets thrown off the bus by one of the aliens. So I did that. I had to launch myself off of a bus into another bus and land on the ground, which was very, very interesting at the time, but very fun to do. We did a lot of running, which I mean, he can run, so a lot of the running stuff was him. I did most of just like the falling and the falls for that project. And that was, like I said, that was just like, oh, I wanna do this, I like this, I can
Yeah, yeah,
continue
yeah.
I can continue doing this. And then, after that, I got booked for season 1 of The Chi. That was the same year. Season 1 of The Chi. I got to play, a pivotal well, he was pivotal in the first couple seasons because the storyline was technically about him trying to figure out who killed him. But I
Yeah.
was doubling for the guy who got killed, so I was the one who did the death scene, which that was so cool too.
No, that's gotta be a lot of fun. So you mentioned like in Northern Illinois, what did you do when you were in school? Did you play football there? Did you do
So I didn't
gymnastics or
play
anything?
football because I wasn't allowed to, mom. No. So I did the best thing. the next best thing, I joined the cheer team because my mom was a cheerleader, and that was
Oh,
another way
okay.
I could be close to football because I could still be on the field. And I knew how to tumble. Like I had a cheer and gymnastics background, so I knew how to tumble. So now I get to be by the girls. So
Yeah,
win,
not a bad
win,
idea, right?
win
And you're
for
not getting
me.
your head bashed in.
Nope. I get to watch the game, be on the field still. I'm tumbling and I'm by the girls. I think I won. I think I won. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I think you did. Any bowl games you guys went to when you were there?
Yeah. So I went to
Oh,
Northern
sweet.
from 2006 to 2010. We went to a
Oh,
bowl
okay.
game in
Yeah.
Canada. I remember a bowl game in Canada. We went to a bowl game in New Orleans. Um, The bowl game they was in Miami with was after I graduated, but I went to that one. I had already graduated though, but I went to that game, which I think was in 2012. I think the Miami was 2012. Canada was 2000, the 2009 to 2010. That was my senior year, was Canada. And then my junior year, we had went to New Orleans. We had a bowl game in New Orleans. So yeah, Northern had quite a good football team during my years there.
Yeah. That was a good run there. So
Yeah.
real quick for the modeling you were doing, was it like print modeling or modeling on like runways, like clothing modeling? Oh,
So I
okay.
did print work and runway.
Yeah,
So I
did
did.
you get a chance to travel anywhere exotic? I've talked to so many people that did the modeling first, and then same thing with you. Oh wait, this
Yeah.
other option, like because sometimes they pull those people because throughout the years they would always do that. Who's someone that has that look that people want to look at for buying clothes or even buying like bread? You're looking at these
Yep.
ads or whatever. And then they give people a chance, like Cindy Crawford had a huge chance in '93 to star in a movie. It just stunk. So then she had
Yeah.
no more starring shot after that. But no,
Right.
that's
It only takes
interesting.
one to mess you up.
It does, yeah. But,
But I've gone to New York, and mostly did a lot of the shows in Chicago. I've done things in Wisconsin. So I had did a shoot for Andis Clippers, like the hair clippers,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
and that shoot was in Wisconsin, but I ended up on their box of clippers, and it
Really?
was on
That's
Shark
cool.
Tank. Like I was on Shark Tank on the box, like it was everywhere. I'm in stores, people all over just like, dude, you're on the box. Like I'm in Walmart in Tennessee and you on the box on these clippers. And I'm like, take a picture and send it to me though. Like that's cool. I
That's
want
great.
I want to see the box. So then, of course, I went and
That's
found the box
amazing.
and I bought the box because,
You
I'm
gotta
on
keep
it.
it, right? I mean,
Yeah.
how
I
do you
got it.
not?
And it's somewhere it was in this room somewhere. I have them. But yeah, I
But
was
it's so
on the
cool.
air
Chicago has become like this hub because there's like a whole night of Wednesday night shows, right? Or Tuesday nights. It's all Chicago.
Wednesday.
Fire,
Yeah.
PD,
And Med.
and there's
Yeah.
another one I think too.
Yep. Chicago Fire,
Yeah,
Chicago PD, and Chicago Med.
nuts.
Yeah.
Oh
They
yeah.
they started
So it's
like
cool that you had that
building.
opportunity being in Chicago and not having to live in LA. Like I'm sure that's something that back in the day it was like New York or LA if you want to become an actor or do anything in the film industry. It's cool that you have these opportunities at other hubs like Atlanta too is like wild how
Oh
Marvel is
yeah.
like we're going to set up shop down there. Tyler Perry
Mhm.
has that ginormous studio down there. Have you had a chance
Oh,
to
I've
work
worked for Tyler Perry a
down there at all?
lot.
Yeah,
A
nice.
lot.
I
Like
heard great
I'm
things about that
probably
set.
I'm probably in Atlanta like 90% of the time and like in Chicago like
Yeah.
10% of the time. Like because Atlanta just has all of the shows and movies like currently right now. So, I have a place that I'm at there, and then I also still have a place up in Chicago. So when I need to work wherever, and then my family's in Chicago too. So to go
Yeah.
visit and things of that sort. But like while I'm working, yeah, I'm mostly in Atlanta, working down there and like for like the Tyler Perry shows and little other shows that are like down there where, the coordinators give me a call and I'm doubling somebody, or if it's somebody I've already doubled and they're doing a new project and they're shooting in Atlanta, so I'll be able to get on things like that. Like I just doubled for Damon Wayans Jr. A couple months ago on a pilot. It didn't get picked up. That would have been a fun pilot, but yeah, I got the
I
double
saw
for
that on
him,
your
which was
IMDb.
cool.
I'm like, man, that guy needs to catch a break because he's so good. But now, dude, all he does is host, which again, it's a paid gig. He hosts
Yeah.
like the random game shows. Like he has a Frogger game show on Peacock,
Yep.
which is actually pretty good. But I'm like, man, he's so good. And the show with him and his dad, really
Yes.
good. It just,
Yes.
yeah.
I'm just like, I'm hoping. So they're remaking The Cable Guy that was originally Jim
I
Carrey.
saw that.
Yeah. So I'm hoping that does good. So he'll have something, going forward with that. I think it would be funny. That's supposed
Yeah,
to
no,
shoot in
he's
Canada
awesome.
though. So yeah. So Damon Wayans Jr. is going to be Matthew Broderick's character, and I think his name is Jake. It is Jake something.
Yeah, it
It's
is
going to be
Jake
Jim
Johnson.
Carrey's character. Yeah,
Yeah,
Jake
Jake
Johnson.
Johnson. Like the
Yeah.
easiest name to remember. Jake Johnson.
He's going to be Jim Carrey's character.
Interesting. That should be good.
Yeah, that's why I
Man,
was just
that's
like,
cool.
okay. I'm intrigued.
Is that kind of what it
but
is sometimes? Like there was a guy that my dad went to high school with in Jersey. And I remember he got lucky. He was in, I'm trying to think the first movie he stunt double for Travolta. But from that, he did like 6 movies in a row. So every time we watch a movie, my dad would be like, oh, I went to school with that guy. My mom used to like pay the guy like her lunch money in elementary school and he'd jump off the school. Like
my
he was
God.
like since a kid, he was like destined for that. But I'm sure like Jonathan Majors, did you double for him again after that?
So I did Lovecraft Country.
Oh yeah,
We did
yeah.
Devotion. We did Creed. So with Creed was I got to be a character in Creed.
Which is cool. So that must have been
So
neat to be like, oh, an acting role at the same time. What got the other one? Did the stunt get the acting, or did you audition acting and the stunt come from it?
the problem was Ant-Man had went longer than expected. So they had to push back the shoot date for Creed. And we know Ant-Man shot in London, so Ant-Man shot overseas. So I didn't get to do Ant-Man because it was during COVID and they weren't flying, everybody over. So I was still in the States. And then I actually got a call and I was working on Tales of the Walking Dead, doubling for Jesse Usher. And they had moved Creed's shoot date back. Which I mean, I didn't know any of this because I don't get told these things, but
Yeah.
I know I had got the call for Creed when I was on Tales of the Walking Dead. So I was just like, well, I'm on the show right now. I can't do it. And the coordinator was just like, hey, I understand, I'll try again, to see if you're available. I'm like, okay, cool. So then he called me again and I was still on the other show. So I had to turn it down again. And I'm just like, oh my God, like this is insane. Cause I've never had something like that happen. Like I've never had, 2 things at once. And I'm just like, I had to say no to Creed twice. Like I'm like starting to panic and like lose my mind. Cause I'm just like, I'm being carried on this show. I'm on this show. It's a great show. It's a good show. And this movie is calling and I'm like, nope, can't do it. So I'm just like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. So then the assistant coordinator calls me and he's just like, hey, just let me know when your next availability is and we'll try to see if we can schedule something there. And I'm like, man, they are really calling to get me on this job. What I didn't know was Jonathan was asking for me.
Oh my gosh. They should have just said that, right? That would have changed your
It's
mind a
still,
little, right?
my hands were still tied. There's nothing I still
That's
couldn't
true.
have done
Yeah,
anything.
yeah.
But I didn't, because I was a little curious too. And I'm just like, I really like these coordinators. They really giving me, a shot. I like these guys.
Yeah.
But the assistant had told me, he was just like, hey, Jonathan's asking, like, when are you free? So we need, we trying to get you, over here, get on here. And I'm like, man, I'm sorry, I'm trying. But every time it just wasn't, working out. So then I finally rapped on Tales of the Walking Dead. And then the coordinator calls me and he's like, hey, this is like the last thing I got before we go back to LA. Are you available? And I'm like, yes, yes. Finally, I'm finally available. Yes, I am. And he's like, okay, cool. And he sent me all the details and stuff. And it was an acting role. And he was just like, yeah, Michael B is directing, and it's a flashback scene of when they was kids. Is basically how Jonathan's character ended up in jail. So I was like, okay, cool. That sounds pivotal to me. Sweet, let's do it. Okay. So I'm like working in on that. So mind you, I'm working with the younger versions. So I got to meet Michael B. Jordan because he was director, but I was working with the younger versions of him. So Jonathan heard that I was working that day and he drove to set. So he came to set to see me on set to say what's up. Cause they was literally like, I think that was a Friday, literally like that Monday, they was gonna be in LA. So he like came to set and was just like, hey, what's up? And I'm like, are you working today? And he's like, nah, I just came because you was gonna be here. And I'm like, cool, okay. That's my bro. That's my bro.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
That's my bro. I appreciate it. Like, but yeah, I'm about to beat up this little kid apparently. So we're good. Cool. And sure enough, he came, said hello. He went to Michael B, said hello, and left.
Wow.
And I was just like, I appreciate that. Like, I mean, mind you too. So we shot Creed in that was all the way in April then. So April of 2022. So then I've been working with him since 2017. So from 2017 to 2022, you know, um, we just been like doing different projects and stuff. And then when Devotion was coming out, which was later in 2022, they was doing like the press tours and stuff like that. So I got to kick it with him during that when he had came to Chicago, he came to Atlanta, and I got to hang out with him when he was doing that. And then I got invited to the premiere for Creed, which I never had happen before. That was awesome. It was a friends and family premiere for Creed. So I flew out to LA to go do that, which was super cool. But yeah, I basically rode with him for the long haul. Lovecraft was a big job.
Yeah, that was huge.
That was the
That
first
show was huge
time.
when it came out.
Yeah, it was a big job. Like we did some crazy stunts on that one, and those were all first for me because I was still new. I
So
started
that's gonna
stunts
be
in
fun, right? The
2007.
first time you're doing something is always like, obviously there's nerves to do with it, but sometimes you have no like you've never done something before. So you have nothing in your head to tell you how it should go.
Yep.
But was that nerve wracking, like the early on doing those, like what was one in particular that you're like, oh my God, we're doing this?
I had to roll down this very, very steep hill. The hill itself was maybe about 30 feet high, but it had like a steep, almost like 20, 30 degree angle. Like if you went down the hill, like even walking, like if you tried to walk down it, you going. The only thing that was gonna stop you was grabbing tree. If you didn't grab a tree, you was going. Like gravity was just pulling and was just like you coming down this hill. So we had to do that a bunch of times because we needed to clear it because we were just in the forest preserve and, rocks, sticks, other things. Like we can't move the trees because the trees are rooted, but like
Yeah.
the other stuff we can move. So like we learned real quick. If you let go of this tree, you going down. If you're going to run, whatever you need to do, you're going to make it to the bottom for sure. So I was just like, well, we got to roll down this. And the director was just like, yeah, we just don't want a barrel roll. We just don't want you rolling over yourself. Roll any kind of way you want to, just not over yourself. Okay. And it's two of us. So it's me and the stunt double that was doubling for Letty for Journey Smollett too. So I'm like, two of us got to roll down this hill and we can't barrel over ourselves. We got to try to stay sideways, and it's trees.
Oh my
Oh,
god.
yeah. I hit a tree the first time. The first time we went down, I smacked the tree really hard.
Whew.
The tree won. The tree, I bounced off that tree. So, oh my God. Like, I've never, it didn't even move. I don't even think it moved. Like, I hit it and I bounced off of it. And I was just like, oh, well, I'm not going that way again. But I rolled the right way. So they liked the way I rolled. So we had to climb all the way back up and do it again. So I think we did it 3 times. We rode down that hill 3 times. But they used some of it, so I can't be mad about it.
Oh, that's gotta be the worst, right? Like, I know for an actor, that's like the worst. Like, I've interviewed people and it's like, used or helped this guy, Larry Hankin. He was like a big character actor in the 80s, 90s, 2000s. But he used to talk about how when he would go watch stuff that he was in, he hated when it wasn't the take that he liked. Or if he remembered somehow, oh my God, that was the first take, and you made me do 20 more. So as a stunt man, I'm sure it's like, oh man, we busted our ass for 12 hours for this thing. And it's not in it?
Right. Or it doesn't make it. Right. And you just like,
oh my God.
Now, mind you, I just did a whole pilot. I did a pilot with Damon Wayans Jr. We did a lot of stunts on there.
Yeah.
It didn't get picked up. So everything I did will never see the light of day. We'll never see.
Do you get that? That you could show? Oh, see, that sucks, man.
Nope. We'll never see the light of day unless somebody.
I always think about the girl who landed Batgirl, like that girl who got the role of Batgirl. I don't even know her name, but I'm sure I would know if it came out. But just think about that. Like, you land a superhero main role and then it just gets shelved and no one, like, that can't be used for real?
That you filmed. You filmed the whole thing.
Freaking
and they shelved it. So right. None of those actors get that footage. None of those stunt performers get that footage.
That's lame. The only thing we got was like that cool picture of Michael Keaton as older Batman that they used, and like Brendan Fraser's in it. Like, that's the thing I never understand. That, like, I'm an accountant, and I kind of understand like the whole like, oh, they want to show like a loss and not have any profit for that, which I think is the dumbest thing. But I'm telling you, if they put that out there now that it's been, I feel like that was 2020 or 2021 that was supposed to come out. They put it out now and have people rent it for $20. I guarantee it's going to make a bunch of money. Like, really? Because everybody talks about it still.
I'm like, I mean, if it wasn't for that time, then wait. I know movies that come out 3 or 4 years after the fact. Like, wait.
Hell, I know. And that's like a normal thing. I interviewed an actor that when I talked about one of his favorite roles, he did, I'm trying to think who it was now, but he did a movie. Oh, it was D.B. Sweeney, who was in like 8 Men Out. He was in a ton of stuff. Yeah. I think he's a Chicago guy because he's friends. He grew up with like Sheen and all those guys.
Okay.
But he had a movie in the late 80s. It was like him and he was the other brother in it was like a bad guy. Get out of here, little guy. And they shelved it. And he still to this day has not seen the light of day, which is wild. And they filmed the whole thing overseas. It was like a dramatic movie, and it was just like, we're not going to put the funding into it. But yeah, no, it's frustrating for me. I couldn't imagine like you put so much time into something, like everybody involved, like that's something you just can't use.
Everybody.
Yeah.
I mean, like, we could. What I think is interesting though, I could put it on my resume because I doubled for Damon Jr. So it's on my resume to show that I doubled for him. So like if he were to do another movie and they're like, hey, we need a double, I could be like, hey, I did it.
Yeah.
Here it is. And then I got pictures with them to, show that, I did it too. But I'm just like, the stunts that we did though were cool. Like, and I can't even see it. And then I can't, put it out there for anybody because it got shelved. And I'm just like, oh, man.
What was the premise of the show? It was called Puzzled, right? What was the premise?
So he basically, from an accident, he acquired Avant syndrome, and he basically saw the world in puzzles. So he was gonna help the local police force solve this serial killer crime because the serial killer kept leaving out puzzle clues. So they were trying to figure out who the serial killer was based on his clues, and because that's how his mind thinks, they hired him to come help. So he was gonna be basically, it was basically gonna be kind of like, what's the other shows? Monk and like
Yeah, like Monk, yeah.
Spike,
Columbo, like all those type of
Columbo.
like
Yeah,
detective type of shows. Yeah. I
yeah, it's a
think they're
detective type
what's
show.
her name show's ending this year too, which is like that Kaylin Olsen. She had that show on ABC that was she was sort of like a
Oh,
mom that was a detective. I think that's
yeah,
ending soon too. But that'd have been a cool show. But that's cool that he's getting these because that's a different type of role for him. So that's
yep.
pretty cool that he had that. Man, that's a shame. It would be nice if every so often I talked to somebody like during COVID, some producer I was talking to, because it was like when the world was like shut down, nobody was filming anything. And I was like, man, wouldn't it be really cool if they took all those old pilots that didn't make it and just air
And
them
showed them.
somewhere?
Yeah,
Yeah.
like
Why
make a
not?
network and just show them.
Hell yeah. I love
Like
watching
these are the
old
ones
shows,
that.
or I just love watching first episodes of things because a first episode of something is totally different than you look at like season 3 and 4 when it
Oh
gets the
yeah,
opportunity to be in the groove. It's like a different show.
oh yeah. The pilots are,
Yeah.
man. And this was a good pilot. Like I thought the pilot was good. I thought the premise was good, and it was gonna keep going forward where it had cliffhangers. It was gonna leave you guessing, and then Damon's funny. Like he had his comedy in there. The other characters had comedy. Like it was good. And I mean, like I said, the stunts we did were good.
Yeah. Did you see the new Scary Movie yet?
I have not yet. I have not
So
seen it yet.
there is one of Damon's cousins, Damon Wayans Jr.'s cousins,
Yeah.
looks just like Keenan Ivory, and it's not even Keenan Ivory's kid. It's
Oh,
it's the oldest sister
okay.
son. It's wild. He looks, and he actually plays your character that you stunted for in Scream 7. He's like a kind of riff on that in it.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, but he looks just like him to the point that you think it's CGI. Like I had to look it up, and I'm like, that looks like a spitting image of Keenan Ivory, but
Keenan.
it
I
wasn't
mean,
bad. It was cool that they went
all
back to the
look alike.
well. Oh, I know they do. Yeah.
Like, I've doubled Damon Sr. too.
Oh yeah. Oh, that's
Yeah.
cool.
I was just like, yeah, so when I was working with him, I was like, yeah, I doubled your dad a couple of years ago. And he was like, what? I was like, yeah, here's the picture. And I showed him the picture, and he was like, dang, I guess, yeah, you could be one of us. And I'm like, I got the call to double for Marlon too, but it just didn't work out. So I was just like, hey, I could be an honorary cousin, I think.
Yeah, you could be the the honorary Wayne stunt double. Anytime
And after
somebody needs to
seeing,
do something. Right?
yeah, I'm like, after seeing the kids, I'm like, man, I could do both generations. I look like the first generation and the second. So that would be cool. And then I'm hoping since Scary Movie did do good that they're gonna bring out some other ones like they said. I could do a White Chicks too. I'm ready for a White Chicks too.
Oh, Little Man too. They
As a
could do
stunt
all. I
double where
hope
I get
so.
to look
Right?
like a bunch of different people, I would do a White Chicks too.
So in it, so Scream. How did Scream 7 come about? Where was that shot?
Oh, so in Atlanta. So that was crazy. So I get an email, and it's the coordinator, Miss Jennifer Badger, who's amazing. And she's just like checking my availability. So, I'm like, I'm fully available, cool. And then she was previously working on a different show at the time. So her tags on her email was saying for that show. So I thought that's what she was calling me for, was that show. So after she, emailed me and was asking my availability and then was checking on a couple of things, I started Googling the show because I'm just like, who am I about to double for? Because I don't know this show. So I started trying to do my research, and I'm like looking, and I'm like, well, it's not none of the main people. It must be just a one-off, somebody that they hired. I look like I get that a lot too. I come in for, one-offs that just have stunts on that day. So I'm like, okay, cool. So then I'm just like, okay. So, I tell her, I'm fully available. I'm free. She's like, okay, this is where we're going to be, show up on this day. And I'm like, okay, cool. Then she emailed me back and was just like, oh, just so you know, it's not for this show that you see on my email. It's for something else. And I'm like, okay, that helps me a little bit, but then it doesn't because I don't know what the other thing is. So I'm
Yeah,
just
yeah.
like, all right. So I show up and I see a couple of other stunt performers that I know from previous trainings. Actually, the fight coordinator, I had worked with him on Fight Night with Kevin Hart. He was the
Oh,
assistant
nice.
coordinator on that, so I worked with him on that. So I got to see him, and I'm like, hey, how you doing? What's going on and stuff?" And he was just like, "Hey, glad you could make it and stuff." Um, I had saw the person, and I thought that you would be a good fit. So I was just like, okay, so he's the one who put me out there, for this job, but I still don't know what it is. So I'm just like, okay, but I'm trying to see everybody that's in the room with us. I'm just like, what we doing? So we just in an empty studio. He's like, for now, we're gonna make some boxes. We're gonna put some boxes together. So I'm like, all right. So we building boxes up. And he was just like, all right. So the scene, you guys are in a kind of kitchen of a restaurant. So we just gonna make that scene up. And I'm like, the kitchen of a restaurant? Okay. So we set the boxes up. He has a notebook. He's carrying his notebook around. He keeps looking in the notebook and he'll close it and then he'll tell us stuff. So I'm just like, okay, I'm here to do this job. Let's do this job. I don't know what it's for. It really doesn't matter what it's for. I'm here. I got a job. Cool. So then we're like working and we're working. And then we get to the point where we're trying to figure out how this bad guy comes up and stabs my character. So I'm like, stab? Stabbing? What are we doing? He stabbing. No. So it hit me. So I've doubled Mason before. So I
Oh,
follow
okay.
his work. So I know that Scream 7 was in the pipeline. So when he said stab, I'm like, come here. Come here. Hey, by chance, is this guy Mason Gooding? And he looked and was like, yeah, it is Mason. And I was like, is this Scream? Are we doing Scream right now? Mind you, I'm just talking to him. I'm not talking out loud
Yeah,
at
yeah.
all. Me and him, face to face. Is this Scream? And he just looked at me. And I was just like, okay. I know everything there is to know because I've seen every single one. So if you need me to tell you some things, I can tell you some things. He said, noted. Good. Cool. So the coordinator comes and she's just like, hey, thank you everybody for coming, showing up. Which we know now the tentative title or the hidden title was called Scar Tissue.
Oh, so they
So
do that? That's cool. I love
yeah.
the old Friday the 13th. Had to be like one of them was called like birthday party. It was like
Yep.
it was all these
I've
corny
heard
names and
that.
people get in the room and they're like, "Oh shit, this is it." Like,
Right.
"Oh,
So it
okay."
was just, of course, it was to hide what it was.
Scar
And she
tissue.
was Scar
Okay.
Tissue. Yeah. And she was just like, thank you guys for coming. This is just the previs. We're shooting this just to show the directors and writers of what it's going to look like. This is not the job. This is just a previs, just to show them this is what it looks like. Cool. Okay. So then immediately, fight coordinator is just like, hey, he knows all about these movies. He's seen every single one of them. And she goes, noted. And I'm just like, okay. But then he did the best thing. I love Noah so much. He did the best thing. He goes, he's worked with Mason before. And she goes, really? And I go, yep, I've doubled him on a project before. And she goes, okay. That was end of that. That was okay. So then we're setting up the bar scene. So we were doing the bar scene. This is the previous for the bar scene that we're setting up. They got us where we could actually go into the bar too. So we did some work in the studio, and then we actually got to go to the location, and then we did shots inside the location. Now this is just a previs. It's just to show the directors and everybody this is what it looks like. Cool.
So
We
you're
don't we
building the
don't just
boxes almost like setting up a set in an empty studio to make it
yeah,
look like a. Oh,
yeah.
that's neat. I've heard of like storyboarding, but I've never heard of actually doing that. That's pretty awesome.
Yeah, we had about 150 boxes that we set up to make like
Oh, that's
aisles.
cool.
So you've seen Scream 7. So
Yes, that was a good. That was
now
one of my favorite scenes.
with the rest in the back in the restaurant with Celeste walking through the middle, we set up boxes on either side to create that path, and then we set up a box line in the front to create the tables. So we just basically tried to recreate that area because we didn't know we were going to actually be able to have it to go in there.
Yeah.
So we did that, and then we actually got approved to go in. So then we actually used the real bar that we use to do everything, and we shot all of that. And then, this was December 2024. So we did that in December
Wow.
2024, and then, we all went home. So then I get another email, and the email was just like, I remember you said you doubled Mason before, right? And I was just like, yeah, I doubled him on this project. And she was just like, send me pictures. I'm like, oh my God, that was like a minute ago. I don't know if I have any pictures. So I started like contacting everybody from that project, and I was like, hey, did y'all take a picture with me and Mason? Y'all got a picture with me and Mason? And they was like, yeah, send it to me right now. It's important. Send it to me. So they gave me a bunch of pictures. I put like a little collage together, and I sent it to her, and she was like hired. So I got the job to double for Mason because I doubled for him before, and I was able to
Wow.
prove that I doubled for him before. And they liked what I did in the previs because in the previs it was me. So I did the whole scene of getting stabbed and making a face and getting thrown to the side, and I mean it's me. So you see that it's me. And then when we shot it for real on the day, Mason put his acting into it and everything, but overall, I got stabbed and I got thrown to the floor. So that was still me, but he did like the in
Yeah.
between things. Um, but I thought it was real cool that I got that. I'm still trying to get it because like we recorded the previs. Like the previs is somewhere out there. I got to find out who has it, so I can get it because I want to post it. I want to be like from previs to like the real thing, so you can see
Yeah.
what I did and then see what he did. And I'm just
That's
like,
pretty
so
cool.
give
The
it to me.
evolution of it.
Hmm?
That's pretty cool. The evolution of it, that it
Yeah.
goes from that to show the writers, hey, the way you wrote this is how, and
Yep.
how the stunt coordinators obviously interpret it. This is how it's going to look. Was it pretty similar to what made it in the movie? Like a lot of the actions
I
in
think
it.
the only thing that changed was how they grabbed his face because they had to actually grab Mason's face.
Yeah.
So when I did it, I mean, he he had his whole hand was like this and just threw me out. But for Mason, if you see it, I don't even think he touches his face. I think he comes around like this. And like Mason, because he got stabbed, so Mason kind of turns his own head and like
Yeah.
goes off. But when if I can find the previous, I want to find it. I want to post it so bad that the stunt performer who's also amazing too. Like, because I told him I was just like, hey, Ghostface is filthy. When we do this, I need you to be ruthless. Like,
Yeah.
I want you like ruthless. And he was just like, cool. We did that in one take. He grabbed my whole face and just threw me out the thing. And I was just like, yeah, yeah. And I got so many good comments on that previs from like the coordinator told me, the fight coordinator told me, they was like, yeah, everybody liked the previs that you did. Like you did a great job. And I'm like, thank you. Like I was just trying to be him, what I thought Mason would do in that moment. I just tried to embody him, which, like I said, the only thing that was different was where Ghostface grabbed him
Yeah.
because it was him. So pretty much was the same thing I did. Same exact thing.
That's sick, especially that you grew up loving those movies.
Oh yeah.
Because you like mentioned your age, you're a year
Older than
younger than
John.
me. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah. I'm saying I graduated high school '05. You graduated, I guess,
Oh, yeah.
'06, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So like those movies, like that first movie was such a shock as a kid. Like still to this day, like that opening scene. And I remember that's when like bootlegs were around, director cuts on VHS tapes. I
Yeah.
remember like all the director's cut was they like zoomed in on her guts. And you're like, oh my God, dude, that's like Drew
That's what
Barrymore
they wanted.
from E.T. And like she was this child actor and it was like so shocking, but it is cool. Like
Oh,
Neve Campbell was everyone's crush in the 90s. And
oh yeah.
I'm so
And
happy that
she's a
she
very
came
nice person.
back.
Very nice.
Yeah,
She's
that,
very, very
right?
nice.
Ah,
Very nice
cool.
person. Also, so since you mentioned the very first Scream and Drew Barrymore, so it was in the bar scene where Celeste is hiding under the bar and she
Mhm.
thinks Ghostface left and he grabs her and pulls her on top of the bar. I wanted them to do like a little homage, if you will, to Drew Barrymore for that scene because we needed a little stall there for timing. And I was just like, what if she pulls off his mask and she can see who it is, but us as an audience can't? And then he still like, throws her off the bar. Cause that would have been just what Drew Barrymore did before she died. She pulls off the mask
Yeah.
and then he just, starts going. I was like, dang, that would have been cool. Um, I don't know if they even shot that or not. Because a lot of like my only stuff was just in the back part. So I
Yeah.
wasn't around for when they shot the front stuff. But I was like, man, that would have been cool if they shot that and did that. That would have been a little because Kevin Williamson was directing. So I was just like,
Oh, yeah, that would've been easy,
this is
right, for
this
him?
is for
Yeah.
you too. Like you see a little bit of something, that you wrote years ago, but um, I know they just pulled her on top of the bar and had a little tussle, and then they threw her off. So I was just like, that makes total sense. Like for
Yeah.
the storyline, that makes total sense.
I love those little things when they put those in movies, like, that only
Little
fans
Easter
might
eggs.
get that are like yeah, or like, just, like, obsessed people,
Yeah.
like, most people knew who Freddy Krueger was, so you understood the
Oh
bit in the
yeah.
first movie, in
Yep.
Scream, when it's like, "Oh, Fred," and it's like friggin', Fonzie as the principal, you have this
That was
janitor wearing
amazing.
a hideous sweater. It's just
Amazing.
so cool. But that's, like, great because that movie was kind of like, "Hey, we're gonna start poking fun at this genre in a way," but in a
Yep.
sense, it launched, like, a genre.
It
In
did. Yeah.
like, making fun of those launch everything because we wouldn't have gotten The Faculty, like, all of those other movies that came
No.
afterwards, I know you did last summer,
Oh, I like
we've
The
never would have
Faculty.
gotten. I love The
Yeah.
Faculty. Still, it hits so hard because what's great about that movie, and even Scream, they get right to it, which you have to do with a
Right.
horror movie to get the audience hooked. But that opening, when you first hear, when the credits are starting to roll, after you see Robert Patrick in that opening scene, you get the whole
Mhm.
like, what the hell's the name of that band? Just that opening song, it rips so good. You have Usher in that opening. Like that whole
Right.
movie was so cool because even the ad campaigns, we were getting like them in modeling
Mhm.
shoots like Elijah Wood, that whole cast
That whole
still
cast was
holds up.
phenomenal.
Yeah.
Phenomenal. I'm like,
The only person that didn't do anything after that was the not spoiler alert because we're almost 30 years from it, but the blonde girl is the only one that I remember seeing in anything else. Everyone else went on to do
ooh,
so much.
you're
The
right.
guy that quit the football team, I should know his name. He's like a kick-ass actor. Like he was great in the new
Yeah.
Ready or Not movie. He was on that
Yep.
the
Yep.
animal show on TNT with what's her name? But yeah, everyone else
Dang.
in that did
You're
so
right.
much.
She is
The
the
blonde
only
girl, nothing.
one. Dang. And
And
I'm
the
like,
older and the teachers were all good. Like Jon Stewart's in that
ye
movie as the
yes.
weirdo science teacher,
I was
right?
just like, "Are you kidding me? This is
Yeah.
okay, that's really cool." Like, dang, she didn't do anything.
Yeah, it just happens sometimes, right? And she had
It does.
probably some of the most lines in the movie, right? Because she
I was
was
about to
the
say she
focal
was the
point that
villain.
met all the characters and like introduced herself. And we're like, oh, who's this
Mhm.
Southern Belle that seems out of place, like in
Right.
this school? Yeah.
Dang.
But yeah,
I
no,
would
that
do a
was a good
faculty remake. I would do a faculty
good.
remake.
Oh yeah, that'd be
I
good.
would. I would. I
Get
would. Yeah.
Usher in it and like a cameo.
Oh
Well, he
yeah.
died. Well, obviously,
Oh yeah.
a lot of those people you
Elijah
can't
too.
bring back.
Elijah too. I mean,
Yeah.
he just did Ready or Not too. Elijah could do a cameo. Oh yeah.
Oh, that's why I kind of was thinking about that because I was watching all those. I love in a way like now when people are have a new movie coming out, like the tours used to be just the talk shows
Hmm.
and maybe some radio shows, but now it's like every podcast, all of like these entertainment shows. So somebody
Hmm.
while doing interview was talking about, hey, have you guys like talked about like this is the first time you worked with each other since the faculty? And they were kind of like, we weren't even thinking about that. And it was pretty cool. Like they were starting to reminisce about that movie, about all the people that were in it. Rodriguez directed
That's
that, right? Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah, pretty cool flick. Now, since you're a Scream aficionado, what's your favorite Scream?
My favorite Scream. Uh, I mean, now it's 7, but no. Um,
No bias, but
no
probably a 7.
bias. I like Scream 2.
Yeah, me too.
I
I like the
was
setting.
a big fan of Jamie Kennedy's character.
Yeah.
Um, I I I I'm a little mad that he had to go in 2. I wanted him just to be a little longer. Like I knew he had to go, but I was just like, maybe. Well, you know what? At first, Scream was supposed to be a trilogy anyway. So it was only supposed to be 3. So it
Yeah.
kind of only makes sense that he would make it to the second one and not the final one. So thinking about that, sure, that makes sense. But knowing that we're at 7 now, he could have made it a
Yeah, I
little
know.
longer.
But it's cool the way
Um,
they did like put him in it sort of like with his niece is like just
yeah,
like he was, super nerdy,
yeah.
into the movies. So, but no, he it was shocking. That second movie was like shocking the way that happened. Hey, real quick, this is almost
That,
done. I just
but
want to grab my charger. I'm about to. So, what are some other projects that you have coming up that you've been working on lately?
so I don't have anything that I've been working on lately. Puzzled was the
Lately, now.
last stunt uh job that I did. I will be on it hasn't even came out yet, but the season finale of season 2 of DR from Detroit, which probably won't come out until August or September. But in my meantime, I've been writing. I have written a couple of features and shorts
Oh, sweet.
that I want to try to either film or get out there at some point. Um, some good
Did you always
concept.
dabble in that as a kid? Were you like creative writing as a kid, or just something from
I
being on set? You're like,
hated
ooh, you
writing.
know what?
Hated writing so much. I was the math and science nerd. Still am, but I would pay people. Well, I wouldn't pay them. I would do their math if they did my writing. You write my paper, I'll do your math homework. You do this, I'll do that.
That's
I
great.
used to terrible. COVID got me writing. When COVID first happened, I wrote my first screenplay and it was god awful. Like it was terrible. And I just needed to just get it down on paper. And I was just like, okay, I was able to do that. I want to do another one. Like, I love horror. Horror is my favorite. And I love vampires. So I was just like, let me write a vampire movie and let's see how it goes. So I've written two vampire movies, and I'm just like, okay.
Sweet.
I've gone back to my original one that I wrote that was terrible, and I've updated it because I don't think it was supposed to be a movie, more so a TV show. So I've changed it from movie to TV form, and I'm still in the process there. I think I've only got like 3 or 4 episodes where I want to have like 7 or 8. With that one, I'm currently doing a comedy, a sci-fi, and I'm writing a adult uh, uh, a 30-minute adult work comedy with my dad because he's
Oh, cool.
invested in what I do right now. So I'm just like, oh, that works for me. Okay.
That's cool. What'd your dad do?
So my
What's
dad,
his line of work?
um, he had worked he worked for the city of Chicago as a journeyman. So he was basically the one who fixed all of the like street lights, traffic lights, street poles fall down. They
Okay.
call, him to or his crew to come put them back up. Traffic signals out, they call his crew to come fix the traffic signals like that. And construction. So
Okay.
that's what this TV show is
Father
about.
son construction crew.
Chicago Fire, Chicago PD, Chicago Med. We got hardly working about the construction crews in the city of Chicago.
That's awesome.
So,
Yeah, writing's so much fun because you have the opportunity to like create your story, especially with you being in the business. You could
oh
write
yeah,
the stories that you want to see. Even like me and my buddy, like during
mm,
same thing during COVID, we were like, well, we can only do so much stuff with our, I only had one kid at the time, and I'm like, we only do so much during the day. So we'd Zoom like right every other night. And it was just like, let's just hang out, have a few drinks, shoot the shit, and then like think of these ideas.
mm-hmm.
Like, what would we have wanted as a kid? And the one thing I always say is like the fact that you love horror too, it's like I've always wanted like where like those gateway movies for kids to get into horror, like a Goosebumps. Like obviously they have
Yeah,
those, but like
yeah.
Monster Squad. I just showed my daughter that not too long ago. It went pretty well. She liked
I
it.
was like, what you
They said
think?
some words I was not ready for her to hear at that age, but I'm
Right.
like,
Okay.
okay, well that's fine. But no, just like those type of movies, like a Fright Night, you go back and watch that, especially you mentioned you love
Yeah.
vampires. That movie to me
Oh, yeah.
is just like such a dream movie. And that's how Tom Holland wrote that because this is what he wanted to happen when he was a kid. I would love a vampire to move next door. Like that would have been a dream
Well,
for him.
what was it? It was actually a kid one that I My Little Vampire or something. It was like a kid one
Oh, yeah, yeah.
about
With
a vampire.
Jonathan Lipnicki was in that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, what happened is to introduce, like, that was, like, a good segue into,
Yeah,
these
that's
are
true.
vampires, but they're not, like, necessarily scary, like, they could be your friend, I guess, like,
Yeah. But like the
but see
Universal monsters my kids love, like Abbott and Costello meet
okay,
Frankenstein or the
yeah.
Mummy, like they just love like that old like
Well, you
just the
gotta watch
look
them, the
of all
good
that. I'm
ones,
like, yeah, you got to.
the
Because
good
if not, then
ones.
they're just watching YouTube and
Right,
watching kids play, and you gotta get them hooked on something else. But so those shorts, like I'm looking at your IMDb, so these got made, like these shorts that you wrote, like Alex the Detective, Lost
yep,
Girl, Slave to Lust. So
yep,
that must have been a cool thing to see something you write, like you were talking about before, being in an empty studio with the boxes, setting the scene. Now
mhm,
you see something that, like just words on a piece of paper, are
yeah,
becoming something, which is that's gotta be
and,
wild.
My Slave to Lust has won, like, 4 festivals,
Oh, see,
like
that's
yeah,
sick.
Slave to Lust has been going. And that was just something, like, out of the box. Like, we were submitting to some, contest, and we didn't make the deadline, but we were just like, "Skip it, we still gonna shoot it anyway." So, we shot, um, Lost Girls and Slave to Lust at the same location, like, back to back, like, 2 days, we shot one day, shot one the next day. And I was just like, I really like Slave to Lust because it's different and it hits something that people are gonna be kinda confrontational about, which I'm just like, those be the good movies. The good ones are what
Yeah.
people have problems with. So, for the contest, we had to do something with water and we had to pick like a fictional monster. So I was just like, well, what's a
Oh,
fictional
cool.
monster that's in the water already? So I found what's called a Mo Guishin, which is a Asian folklore of a deceased spirit that comes back and haunts the person that killed them. So I was just like, well, we got water, we got all of this. Let's do that. But I want to put a twist on it. And everybody's like, what's the twist? And I was like, well, instead of, her coming back to kill him, she should do something else. And they were like, well, what should she do? And I was like, yeah, she's going to send him back to slavery. And they were like, what?
Oh my shit.
I still find it funny till today. I thought that was the funniest thing in the world. So I was just like, hey, this is what we gonna do. If y'all on board, let's do it. She gonna come back for him, but she just gonna send him back to slavery time. And they was just like, you know what, let's do it. Cool. So we shot it. We did everything. We edited it ourselves too. So we edited it and we put it exactly how we wanted it. And then I sent it to the first festival. It got approved and it won. And I was like, wait, what? It won? Yo, it won. Hey, we won. So they was like, oh, snap. Because we thought, it's controversial. Like, you send a black guy back to slavery. It's But the ultimate punishment is, he killed this girl. She comes back to get him. But instead of doing that, she just sent him to a bad time. Cool. But other people, I think, thought it was funny too. So I was just like, I would make a feature because Slave to Lust is only like 7 or 8 minutes. Like, it's it's really short. But I was just like, if somebody see that, like if it was like Saw started off as a short, and it became a franchise. So I'm like, if somebody saw that and was just like, hey, you want to make a bigger, like a feature version of that? Yes, I would. I totally would. I totally would. I already got the thoughts in here. I would totally do that. Lost Girls was just the girl version of Lost Boys. So,
Oh, okay.
it's all female vampires, but it's like a group of people trapped in a cabin, and these group of vampire girls are trying to kill them. That has a bit of stunts in it, which is why I wanted to do it. I pulled somebody out of a door, I pulled somebody out of a window. We use a lot of effects that we, did ourselves, which was pretty cool. And then Alex the Detective. Alex the Detective was a collab I did. All of us are stunt performers. Everybody that is a part of this, we're all stunt performers. So yeah, we did Lost Girls, Slave to Lust, and Alex the Detective. And Alex the Detective has won awards too. That's a comedy, a whodunit comedy. And oh my God, I think it took us like 8 hours to write that. And we submitted it to a festival and won an award for the best short at that festival. And I was just
Are
like,
these time limit ones? Like, you guys go somewhere and they're like, hey, turn it around in 48 hours, like one of those?
so
How the-
Slave and Lost Girls was not, but Alice the Detective was. Yeah, Alice the Detective. We had a short time to do that, so we went in there, got it done, got it edited. We got it where we wanted it. And that's a pretty funny one too. That's a good one. I think Alex and Slave are my favorite ones that have been made so far. But I have an arsenal of other ones that I want to get made. Just got to find the time, because every time I'm like, all right, we could do this, then I get booked for a job. So maybe I do need to say
Yeah.
I need to do this so I can go back to work.
Yeah, maybe you have to send that email out, and then it will put it into the ethos, and somebody will reach out. But man, Brian, this has been so much fun. A few questions I always love to ask folks before I end it is, if you weren't doing this, what kind of career you think you would have went into? If it wasn't for like the modeling that somebody said for you to, if you were at the distillery, like, was there any other jobs that you were thinking about doing that weren't acting or modeling or stunt work?
Oh, no, I don't know. Like, my degree is in math and chemistry. So, like, I mean, probably something tailored to any of those.
So that's what you were doing were you working at the distillery in something in like the formulas for the alcohol, or working with that end of it?
So eventually, but like when I started at the bottom. Like, I came in like in the warehouse doing the bottles, and then they found out I had a chemistry degree, and they was just like, well, we have this position open. Why don't you apply for it? And I'm like, okay. And I'm just like, okay. So I applied for that job. And then my brother applied for the position that I was not going to have anymore. So then my brother got in too. That was a problem. So a lot of people there have been trying to get family members in, and they thought I did something special. I don't know. But the work became very, very stressful for me. I didn't like what was happening for me, and I got out of there. My brother still works there to today.
Oh my god.
He's been what's it called? I would keep wanting to say upgraded. He's at promotion.
Okay.
He's had quite a few promotions since being there, which I'm just like kudos. And now everybody that works with him always say like, "Hey, what's your brother? What can I see your brother in? Can we go watch this or something?" And I'm like, "You was one of the ones I didn't like when I was there, so
Yeah, right.
huh,
So we're not
now
gonna
you
tell
looking
you.
for me. Now you looking for me.
Yeah.
Cool." I
And then
don't know
also,
though.
like, early on in your career, do you remember, did you keep any mementos or anything from sets, like your first set? Did you keep any scripts or anything?
So we do get the sides. So we do have sides that are given to us. So I do have a box full of sides that I have from various like TV shows and movies. But what I found out honestly recently, actually I found out from Damon Wayans Jr.'s dad. So sometimes even actors take mementos from the projects they work on. I
Yeah.
didn't know you could do that.
Well, I think some stuff it's like frowned upon because they kind of want to. Because I don't know if you ever watch any documentaries on like SNL. It's like
Oh yeah.
somebody did a
Yeah.
skit like 2 years ago. He took the pants off and he saw the label and it said
Yeah.
like Chris Farley or it said, so they do like to keep that stuff. But
Yeah.
I've interviewed people that are like, they don't see it. They don't see you take it. They won't know.
Now here's the thing though. That is true because I know a lot of stuff got taken from Lovecraft Country, which potentially, if I knew what I knew now, I probably would have tried to take something too. But
Yeah.
um when I rapped on Scream 7, I had asked for the shoes that me and Mason were wearing because those shoes were awesome. And they said that they couldn't give them to me. The only reason that is potentially they will need to use them again.
Uh-huh.
We now know that there's going to be a Scream 8. So at that point in time, mind you, this was what? When did I rap? I rapped in March of 2025. March or April 2025. I asked for the shoes and they said no, because we might need them again. Cool. So I think they already knew it was going to be a Scream 8 potentially at that point. But I did work on one project where they gave me my whole outfit. I got the whole outfit to take home. So sometimes they give you the things. Sometimes if you ask the right person, they'll give you the things. But other times I just go home.
Yeah, no, it's neat because some people are, hey, let me keep these mementos to look at.
Right.
Like I talked to this character actor, Stuart Pank, and he goes, oh yeah, in the closet right there, there's just scripts stacked, but I'm not going to do anything with it. So it just
Right.
depends on, oh, and sometimes just the wherewithal, like just like anything in life, you're like, oh my God, this is so cool. And then you're done with it. You're like, shit, I didn't take one picture of this cool thing I was at. Again, you have the memory of it. So I think sometimes I'm like, I don't want to take my camera out when I'm at like a sporting event or stuff like that because I'm like, why am I going to watch it through the lens when I'm like right here?
You're living
like,
it.
yeah, I'm enjoying it, but I know so I see both sides of it. But so lastly, obviously you do the writing, you're doing some producing. Do you have like a dream project? Obviously the ones you talked about writing, but how about like for one that you could be in? Is there like a particular person you'd want to like double for, or obviously vampire? I'm sure I'm sure some vampire genre, but is there anyone you want to double for?
I want to double for Will Smith so bad. So bad. I want to double for Will Smith.
He's been quiet, right? What was the last movie he had?
Bad Boys, right? Bad Boys?
Man. And that was post the smacking thing, right? That?
Yes. Yeah, it was after. It was
I was gonna say maybe he was like, I'm gonna sit this one out for a while.
His movie, what was the other? He had a movie that he did that did bad because it came out a little bit after the slap, but Bad Boys still did okay, I believe, because it came out a little bit after. They pushed it to come out later. But yeah, I would totally want to double for Will Smith. I know the people that have doubled for him though. I know his doubles, but I was just like, man, I would want to double for Will, and I would want to double for Jesse Usher again. He's a cool dude. That was a fun time. Getting to work on Tales of the Walking Dead with him. Like, that
Yeah.
was super cool, super fun. Everybody I've doubled has been amazing. Like, cool people. I haven't run into no like rude or annoying or everybody. If you look at my resume, you look at my IMDb, everybody that it shows on there that I've doubled has been cool and nice and like appreciative, supportive, everything. Super cool.
That's the mindset you have to be. That's the sets that you want to be on, or that's
100.
what you want. Even if you're that number one on the call sheet, like you said about like Jonathan Majors, no
Mhm.
one's doing that. Like, not for nothing. Like, if I had an off day or something, I don't know if I'm doing that, but that's like setting up. Like, hey man, this is how I want to. I want to show love for a guy I've
Right.
worked with for 5-6 years. We know each other. We've been on these sets, so it is cool when you hear those awesome stories about the number one on the call sheet or somebody that is
Mhm.
that important. Just like showing everybody love to be like, hey, I might be that person, but we're all equal here. And those are the movies at the end. You're like, wow, this movie has a great opportunity because there was such a cohesion. I heard stories
Yep.
from people. It's like, yeah, you can't even like look at the star. But again, these are like very small of all the people I've interviewed. Those stories are like so rare. So it's like,
Yeah.
it's just those get
Yeah.
amplified more because just like anything, you or I go to a restaurant and have a great experience. For the most part, people aren't going to go on there and be like, man, what a great day at this place. The
Right.
waiter was cool. This was great. But if you have a shitty experience, people go right online and just like
And just
bash.
start
So no,
posting.
that's cool that you
Yep.
had a great experience on a lot of sets because
Yeah.
that's what you want, man. You're going to work, you're being creative. It's hard to be creative if you're thinking about like some negativity or
Right.
there's just bad energy going on. But
And I'm
yeah.
big with leaving my actors alone. Like, I know you here doing a big job. You got lines, I'm just here to fall down.
Yeah, yeah,
Go do
yeah.
you. I'm do you. I'm here to do my thing. I'm chilling. If you say hello, I'm gonna say hello. I'm very cordial. I'm very polite. I will speak when spoken to, but I'm not here to be over your shoulder. I'm not here to do none of that. I'm here to do what this coordinator's telling me to do. I do my thing. If you got some notes for me or if I got some notes for you, we gonna exchange and then that's it.
Yeah.
I'm done. If I work with you multiple times though, then, I feel like we could kinda, be buddy buddy a little bit, start a
Yeah.
conversation and, kinda kick it. Cause I'm like, that tree hurt. So I hit that tree for you. So hey, what's up? Like, man, but no,
Have
me
you
and
done
Jonathan
any
still talk
coordinating
today.
yet on set? Have you done
I
coordinating?
I I have coordinated 2 independent films and 4 student films.
Oh, cool.
Which that's a whole nother ball game. That's why I have full respect for coordinators. And I
Yeah.
know what my job is supposed to do on that day because I know how hard it can be when it's not going correctly. So
That's
I
cool
do
that a
want I do
student
want to
film
do more
used
coordinating.
a student film at Stunts. Where was that? Like, what school in Chicago reached out to you? Or was somewhere in Atlanta?
I've gotten a couple in Atlanta and I've gotten DePaul and Columbia in Chicago.
Okay.
And I mean, these students, which mind you, these students are the next generation. These students are going to be the next directors, producers,
Yeah.
writers. These are these people. Everyone I've done so far has been great, studio level. Like these are kids. And I'm
That's
like,
awesome.
y'all out here doing stuff like the studios. Like, dang, okay. I got one that should be coming out actually soon where I stunt coordinated and I actually got to be the bad guy in it too. Which was super cool because they were just like, yeah, we're looking for a stunt coordinator because we got a lot of fights. I'm like, okay, cool. So I did it, and he was just like, actually, do you mind being like the villain of the movie too? And I was just like, not at all. Not, I would do that for you. Yes. So you don't have to go find somebody. Yes, I would totally be the villain because I already got
That's
the script
sick.
and stuff. I already read it. So I was
Yeah.
just like, I would totally do it. When I tell you these kids did animation that I've only seen like studio levels do, like I can't wait for this to come out. Like, I think I'm more excited than them for it to come out. And this is a student film, and I'm excited. So I'm just
That's
like,
sick. Was that
you guys
DePaul or was that Columbia?
this was DePaul. This is DePaul.
Sick. That's cool. Now
Yeah.
the entryway, obviously you have so many different channels, so many different apps, streaming services, but now
Mhm.
it's like back in the day to be like, oh man, where do you want to go to film school? It's like, you got like
Right.
4 choices, right?
That's
Now,
what,
like
well, I mean,
hearing DePaul, I'm like, that's pretty cool, especially in a major city. Why not, right?
I wish I would have known I was gonna do this because I probably would have went to school for it.
Yeah, right. Do
I'm
you
like,
remember looking back? Did Northern Illinois have anything like that? Any film
yes,
or? Oh, they did. Okay,
yes,
cool.
yeah. I'm just like, oh, but like I said, I went to school for what I was good at. I was good at math. I
Yeah.
was good at chemistry. I had an easy time. I went to school for math and chemistry. What I wanted to
Yeah.
do with it wasn't exactly sure at that moment. But I just did what I knew. I know numbers. I know formulas. They just come to me really easy. So,
Yeah.
and actually, I use a lot of that with my stunt work. I have a lot of calculating I do. It's a lot of calculations.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure, right?
I just
Yeah.
can do it quick. So, I mean, still kind of
Maybe one day
utilizing
you
it.
go back, you get like an honorary film degree from Northern Illinois or teach. That'd be rad,
Right.
man.
I was just like, I've been thinking about it. I mean, I have my own commercials. I could totally teach. I could totally, so that's what I was going to beforehand.
Oh,
I
yeah.
hand model still. So I'm still a hand model. So I still
Oh,
hand
you
model
do?
now. Yeah. So it's actually funny when you hear that because you're like, you a stunt guy that hand models. And I'm like, yep. So if you ever see me and you see my hands, you'll understand. Like nothing ever is wrong with my hands. My hands are always fine. Like I would never injure or hurt my hands ever because
Did
these
you
are
ever watch
money.
Seinfeld? You
Yeah.
ever
Oh,
watch
yeah.
Seinfeld?
Yeah.
So
Oh,
you know
yeah.
the hand model there, yeah.
Yeah.
That
Oh,
must be a
yeah.
lot of pressure, man. Like, hey, honey, can you help me open this? I don't want to. These are the money makers.
Well, wait. So this is the big thing. So I am married and I don't wear wedding rings because a lot of the times
Oh, because you can't.
they don't want to see that mark on your finger.
Yeah, that's funny.
So I
Oh
don't
my
wear
god.
my wedding rings. And I love wearing rings. I got a whole bunch of rings. I love wearing rings, but I don't wear them unless it's a specific event. I will wear them out with my wife. I will wear them out. But most of the times you will never see me. I can't wear them when I do stunts. I know a lot of stunt guys who do wear their wedding bands. I know a lot of stunt guys who wear their wedding bands. I just
That's
do not
scary.
because I use my hands for other things.
Yeah, not even that. I get a fear of like I don't even wear necklaces or bracelets. I wear my wedding ring, but I don't have a
Okay.
fear of that getting caught. But if I was doing stunts where there's things that I think there's only a little bit of surface area that I could catch. But God, man, I think I ripped my finger off.
Well, you got to think too. We got to wear what the actor's wearing. So if the actor has on a
Yeah, oh, that's
chain, we got
true.
to wear a
Yeah.
chain. Like we got to do what they doing. I got to go to what was that? Fear of the Walking Dead. I was doubling for Coleman Domingo. He wears a bunch of rings on his fingers. His character does. Wears a bunch of rings. So now I got a bunch of rings on my fingers. So now I got to do all these stunts with a bunch of rings on my fingers. So I'm just like, dang, that's different. That's way different.
Yeah. Talk about another guy that blew up, man. So you doubled him on 4 seasons
Yep.
as well, right?
Yep.
So that's what's so cool about it. Like you work for them once. It's like, hey, he knows his movements. It would be pretty simple because that's the biggest thing. You don't want when they show the other scene, it's like, well, that's not that guy. He walks
Right.
nowhere like that guy, or all these
Right.
little things that you really don't think about putting together a movie, but those are the things you'll notice if they're not right.
And I love it. I love it so much. We're in the final season of The Shy right now, and I doubled for a character called Nuck, who was a pivotal character in the past few seasons, where apparently everybody's been waiting for him to get, for him to die. So I was just like, oh, I didn't know that because I haven't watched The Shy in a couple of seasons. So it's a Shy group page on Facebook. So I joined the page and everybody was talking about it. Everybody's just like, I'm so glad, I'm so glad, I'm so glad. And I'm like, well, let me just throw this out there. So I was just like, hey, thanks for letting me join the group. I actually doubled for him, and that was me who got shot. And the post blew up. Blew up. What you mean that was you? Mind you, I got pictures. I got the pictures of me dressed like him I got pictures of me with him, just like him. I got pictures of the trailer that says I got all pictures so they can see everything. So they can see that I'm not lying. Like, this is what it is. And they're just like, I didn't know he needed a double. Wait, I didn't know. Wait, that was somebody else? I did my job. Thank you.
Yeah.
I did.
Yeah, right.
You didn't know that it wasn't him? I did my job. Great.
Yeah.
I blew a lot of, like, everybody in there. They were just like, whoa, I learned something today. Like yeah, you did. Now you're going to go back and look at everything you watch now and be like, dang, was that him? Or was that a double?
Or some of the movies really easy, like in Friday the 13th Part 4, when the girl that gets thrown out the window, it's a man in a wig with hairy legs.
Yeah.
I love those. And those cheapo movies, they didn't care. They'd be like, oh, I don't really care. Oh, wait, you're telling me male, female? Who gives a crap? Or like skin color? Whatever. They won't notice. You're like, what? Like, how do we forget these things? But no, man. No, Brian, this has been awesome. I'm so cool. So cool to connect with you and learn about your career and just keep the passion with the writing and stuff. I think it's so cool. Like you're in this, so your mindset is always creative. But for anyone, like when you're done working whatever 9-to-5 job you have, like, man, do something creative because you got to keep that mind going. That's my fear of like getting older and you see people that get like 60, 70, and 80. And it's like, you got to do something to keep working that mind.
Keep it going. I mean, Morgan Freeman is my biggest like person. That Morgan Freeman and Samuel L. Jackson are the two people that keep me going. I'm like, they started early, but they didn't get their big breaks until later. Right? It's go. You're never too early to start. You're never too late to start. Go ahead.
Yeah, there's so many guys that prove that. You're like, oh, you never acted before? And somebody that's like 40 and now they're like in so much stuff because you never know. You might have that look that someone's looking for. You never know, man. Say,
true.
But yeah, Brian, this has been awesome, man. Thanks so much for taking the time. Best of luck with everything. And keep in touch.
Of course, definitely. Thank you so much.
Hey, no worries, man. Have a great rest of your day. Man, wasn't Brian awesome? Really a wild story to hear about just how intense some stunts are. We think of the behind the scenes footage sometimes when we see like the crash pads or you see, the big airbags, which I just interviewed somebody, really cool story about the development of the airbag in the stunt field, which that'll be out in the next month. But really neat to hear, oh, this is actually like falling down a hill. Like in that stunt scene on Lovecraft Country, he's like really whacking into these trees. He has some pads on, but just insane to hear the behind the scenes. And the fact that what he shot in that warehouse building that set of the bar in Screen 7 was pretty much what you saw on film with the actors and everything involved, even up to the face getting grabbed because he was like, hey, I'm a scream aficionado. Ghostface wouldn't be kind. He would really grab my face. Come on, really grab my face. He was a lot of fun. I hope his films that he's doing as shorts right now can grow into bigger projects because, man, he has a lot of passion. He loves movie making, loves horror, and has some really interesting takes with the short films that he's done. So maybe they can get transitioned to a feature. But yeah, so your homework, Scream 7, Paramount Plus. If you have Paramount Plus, it's free on there. It's interesting. You got to think any film when you get to number 7, it's never going to live up to the earlier ones. It's not going to be Jason, versus Carrie situation where we're like, hey, let's try to do this different idea. There's definitely some differences in it, but it'd be fun to hear Jamie's take on it. I don't remember this movie. I remember watching it, but I don't remember too much of it, which means maybe I didn't like it as much. But yeah. So don't forget to review, rate, share our podcast. Follow us on all social media at Sequels Only. And don't forget to check out our website, sequelsonly.com. Good night.
Good night.
Good night, guys. Good night, guys. I love everybody. Is it over?